Why did Roman Reigns think Jacob was going to just acknowledge him so easily? Talking about it was in the contract and he's supposed to. Jacob, look, Jacob is a whole different breed. He's not Jay. He got it out the mud. And Jacob wrecked everybody tonight. The Usos, Roman, anybody in the way. And no matter what happened, Jacob never stopped.
Remember when they tried to count me out? Count me up. Now all I do is count it up. Count it up. Tell them haters, look at me now. Every day, payday on my fucking calendar. Hey, I remember when the niggas down and out. Down and out. Man, ain't nobody try to help me up. They help me up. Man, tell them haters, look at me now. Look at me now. Every day, payday on my fucking calendar. Hey, hey.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Third Eye Wrestling Podcast, where we don't just watch wrestling, we see through it. I'm your host, King Chris, and today we got to talk about WWE having one of the worst go-home shows in recent memory, followed immediately by a surprisingly good PLE. SmackDown was a disaster. Backlash somehow over-delivered. And Roman Reigns got absolutely destroyed. And Monday Night Raw may have quietly planted the seeds for some huge future storylines. So sit back, lock in, and let's talk about it. Man, I'm just going to say it straight up. Last Friday's episode of SmackDown was bad. And the worst part, this was the go-home show for Backlash. This show was supposed to make fans excited. Instead, it felt like WWE forgot the PLE was coming. Now, I'll give credit where it's due. Jacob Fatu was the only truly entertaining thing on SmackDown. Every time Jacob shows up now, it feels important. The energy changes, the intensity changes, the entire vibe of the show changes. And that promo, that wasn't just talking. That was a warning. Jacob sounds like a man that is done waiting his turn. Now let's talk about Gunther, because WWE literally advertised Gunther was going to explain his attack on Cody Rhodes. So naturally, I'm expecting some deep reasoning, some layered motivation, some real explanation. Instead, we basically got Cody. You're going to be facing Gunther at Clash in Italy for the WWE Undisputed Championship. That's it. And then what happens? Another sneak attack. Except this time, Cody fights him off. So now Gunther looks less dangerous than he did the first time. But here's the part nobody's talking about. Gunther used his favor from Paul Heyman to get that title match, to be moved over to SmackDown. So if that was the favor, does that mean Brock Lesnar is really done? No surprise return, no Paul Heyman betrayal, no last second Lesnar storyline? Because if the favor was only used for a title opportunity, that might quietly confirm Brock isn't part of WWE's future plans anymore. What do y'all think? Is Brock actually retired this time? Put it in the comments. Now, this is where things got surprising, because after that horrible SmackDown, WWE Backlash actually delivered. And honestly, I gotta ask, was Backlash better than night one of WrestleMania? Because pound for pound, this show was consistent. Let's talk match of the night. Iyo Sky versus Asuka. Now, that was wrestling. Hard hitting, fast paced, emotional, clean chemistry. And Iyo coming out with the win made sense. But the real moment, the hug afterwards, that felt bigger than just respect. It felt like two things happened in that ring. Number one, that rivalry officially ended. And number two, that may have been the beginning of the end for Asuka's WWE career. I need y'all to be honest with me in the comments. Do y'all think Asuka is nearing her retirement, or do you think that she's going to move over to another show, perhaps NXT, to liven up the rookies in NXT? Who knows? Just tell me in the comments. Now, listen, hear me out. Danhausen. Danhausen understands comedy wrestling. He doesn't overdo it. He just adds just enough chaos to keep things entertaining. And also, look, shout out to The Miz too, because Miz is he's one of the most underrated veterans in WWE right now. He knows how to make people look good. And that's a skill everybody doesn't have. So big kudos to The Miz. Even though he lost, big kudos to him. Now, the John Cena Classic. I really want to get to this because Felix knows he wrong for this. Cool idea. Not knocking. Cool idea. But the rules are broken. You're telling me fans can vote somebody as champion even if they lose the tournament. That makes absolutely no sense. So what are the wins for then? What are the brackets for? They got to clean those rules up fast because this John Cena Classic doesn't sound interesting to say the least. It just sounds like a participation award that just says, hey, I participated and y'all said I should win and I didn't, or I probably did. Who knows? Like, it doesn't make sense at all. And finally, Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. And let's all agree to disagree or whatever, however you want to say it. But from my angle, Roman survived. But let's call it what it really was. Roman got his ass whooped. Jacob walked away from that match looking hungrier. Roman survived the title defense, but Jacob won the battle psychologically. It just blows my mind how really Jacob dominated that whole match. Roman just got lucky with that. And that's the first ever time we ever can see that Roman got lucky. Now let's move on to Monday Night Raw. And I know some of y'all are looking at Monday Night Ruca, Sol Ruca. Let's cut to the chase with her. She needs to slow down. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of y'all are going to come at me. I'm rooting for Sol Ruca. I really am. But she's got to find her footing. She moves so fast sometimes it feels like she's rushing herself. And her finisher, the Soul Snatcher, is an incredible move. Incredible. But that move is very risky to Sol Ruca because it requires perfect precision. One bad angle, one missed time jump, one misstep that can go wrong very fast. So again, I'm rooting for her, but she has to slow down. I understand that she may be a little nervous. This is her moving up to the main roster. She may be nervous, but it's okay. You are in the ring with people who know how to work. She has to learn to trust her opponent. Now, let's revisit the Street Profits and Seth Rollins situation because clearly this is getting out of hand. And Montez Ford clearly doesn't trust Seth. But Angelo Dawkins, that's different because Dawkins saw Seth come to help them. He saw that olive branch, but Montez didn't see it because Montez was down. All Montez saw was the spear from Braun Breaker to Angelo Dawkins, and Seth Rollins got out of the way. So now the question becomes, how do Seth and Montez fix this issue between them? Or do they even want to? So we're going to get to the big story of the night. We got to talk the big story tonight. Why did Roman Reigns think Jacob was going to just acknowledge him so easily? Talking about it was in the contract and he's supposed to. Jacob is a whole different breed. He's not Jey. He got it out the mud. And Jacob wrecked everybody tonight. The Usos, Roman, anybody in the way. And no matter what happened, Jacob never stopped. But here's the detail fans might have missed. Jey Uso told Jimmy, "We do this for our family." That changes everything because now you gotta ask, is Jay secretly agreeing with Jacob with his motives? See, Roman thinks about the dynasty, the bloodline, the empire. But Jacob is thinking about his family, his immediate family. And in Jacob's eyes, Roman took care of everybody else, but not him. And that frustration, that rage, that desperation, it turned Jacob into a savage. And what happened? Roman Reigns got put through the announcer's table again. And Jacob stood tall, looking more dangerous than ever. Man, listen, WWE has some great stories brewing right now, but they got to stop fumbling the setup because SmackDown almost killed the hype. Backlash saved it. And Raw might have quietly pushed things into another gear. So now I want to hear from y'all. Was Backlash better than WrestleMania Night 1? Is Jacob Fatu the future of WWE? And is Roman finally losing control of the family? If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Third Eye Wrestling Podcast every week, where we don't just watch wrestling, we see through it. I'm King Chris. I'll catch y'all on the next one.